With every decision, we create. We are creators. With every decision, we are creating different realities in a multiverse, if you may. Go right, that leads you down one path. Go left, that leads you down another path. Go straight or forward, that leads you down another path. And sometimes we're not listening to our internal GPS, our internal guidance, our intuition, which is the tuition that we pay in this thing called Earth School. It's the tuition that we pay to learn and to have certain experiences to teach us who we are, what we are, that we are. And so there are beings that know how to manipulate the subconscious. It's called marketing. That have learned how to manipulate the subconscious and to hijack the awareness of people through distractions and other tools for the purpose of creating the reality that they envision. And so sometimes as people, we don't know why we are responding or actually reacting to certain things, and we are acting again, meaning we are in the past and acting in response to an energy or an emotion that is now just coming forward as a result of something that has already happened, right? So we are reacting, acting again, even though the event has already passed. And as the event has already passed, we are now in the present. But in the present, we are creating the future based on an event that has happened in the past. Right? And so sometimes when we are not consciously aware in the present of our actions and what we are actually interfacing with, engaging with, responding to, we can give our attention and energy to, as I stated, to create realities not of our own choosing. Part of what I've learned, that getting out in nature, which is the original Wi-Fi connection, right? Disconnecting from the, say, artificial intelligence, and reconnecting with the organic intelligence. It helps me to see more clearly, to have these conversations. Because one of the things that I came to realize right, recently was exactly what it is that I'm communicating to you all. Is that sometimes the synapses, right? The synapses in the brain can be hijacked, right? Like hijackers on a plane of awareness, a plane of consciousness. Hijackers on a plane can sometimes come in and hijack your plane, hijack your reality. And this happens sometimes through, at least one of the things that I've learned for myself that happened frequently in terms of being able to be hijacked is fear. Fear is huge when it comes to hijacking the awareness. Because when people are afraid, generally all they can see is fear. It's false evidence appearing real, as they say, right? And so don't feed the fears. Don't feed the fears. And I know that's easier said than done because we're literally talking about neurochemicals in your brain. But the good thing about the human anatomy is that your body's job is to keep you alive. Your body, your energy, your essence, the very core of your essence wants to keep you alive. And so it does everything that it can to do that. But sometimes we turn ourselves off or get turned off and allow ourselves, consciously or unconsciously, we allow ourselves to be taken over by other entities. Follow me now. I did a video a couple weeks ago where I was talking about parasites in the body and how parasites are, we know what parasites are. Parasites are parasites. They are parasitic entities that can live in the gut, which is the first brain, right? They can live in the gut and they require a host, you, right? They require a host in order to give them life. They require a host in order to, they need you to feed. And in doing so, in this video, I was talking about how when your body becomes overrun with parasitic entities, it can actually change the personality of the host, causing you to take on characteristics coming from the parasite, right? And I know this may sound kind of out there, but I encourage you to do some research. Most of us don't know and have not been taught the intricacies of this vessel that we walk around in, that houses the very consciousness of the I am, houses the very divine consciousness that is you. And so we don't know sometimes the way that what we interact with, what we come in contact with, every single thing around us. Sometimes we are unaware of our connection to those things. And because we become unaware of those things, we become disconnected from the wholeness of it all, totally disconnected from the common thread that runs through it all. So I'm just here at one of my meditation spots. And these were just some of my thoughts, or I won't even say thoughts, but some of the things that basically as soon as I stepped out the car, they just, the sun started shining on me, and all of this information, because remember, the sun is information. The sun is information. And our hair, right, are the antennas. So I decided to let my hair down today. And in doing so, I'm receiving this energy from the sun that's giving me information. And so as I'm receiving this information, I am giving this information. Your body is an amazing, amazing vehicle. It is quite literally your spaceship. It is the thing that gets you in these spaces, right? It is the thing that gets you in these spaces. It's the thing that it houses the consciousness of the I am. But like I said, humanity has been at war with itself for quite some time, where the beings that know how to control and who seek to control others have learned and studied you. And in studying you, they've learned how you think, they've learned how you operate, they've learned what makes you tick, what makes you upset. They've learned these things. And they work and manipulate these things to control you. That's quite literally what happens. It's done through sound frequencies. It's done through television frequencies. It's called programming, right? Television programs. That quite literally tell lies to your vision. Control. Sometimes, we don't stop to ask ourselves, why are things the way that they are? Why are there beings that believe that they have the right to actually control other beings? And why do some beings believe that they should be controlled? And by controlled, I mean, this is how you are to live. This is what you should do. This is how you should feel. This is what should make you upset. This is what should make you happy. This is what should make you angry. This is what you need to be like this in order to be acceptable. Now, again, I want to be clear. I'm not, let me just say, that's what I'm saying. Take it as it resonates. But control. We see this recently, of course. There was the Roe versus Wade decision. And it's interesting that decision, I believe, was announced on Friday, the 24th. And if you know anything about numbers and you follow the mathematics of it all, Friday the 24th, when broken down in neurology, culminated to 66666, so 5 sixes, right? And yeah, and the number 6 corresponds with sex, right? Which we know has been made taboo because there are there are beings that I'm not sure what portal they came through, but for some reason they don't appreciate the womb for whatever reason. And as we know, the womb is a portal to bring forth creation. And so you have these beings that believe that they have some authority to control the womb. And they announced this decision on Friday, which corresponds also with the planet Venus, which is all about the feminine principle, the feminine essence. They do it in June, which is Cancer season, which is all about the mother energy, stability, nurturing, the home, the womb. You see what I'm saying? So, to my sisters, I say this. Your womb is sacred. If it were not, you wouldn't have beings attempting to externally control your womb. Many of us haven't always seen our wombs as sacred, thus allowing anything and everything to enter our womb and to deposit energy, life into our womb, spirits, entities into our wombs. It's energy. And so it is time for my sisters to know who you are. Understand that you have the power. We have the power to literally transport life and transport beings from one dimension into another dimension through our wombs, through our portals. Your womb is a portal to another reality, from the unconscious realm, bringing it forth to the conscious realm, right? From the unseen to the seen realm, from the spirit realm to the physical realm, literally. And what happens is our minds, because we are seen as the weaker sex. And so there's a lot that happens that is done to play specifically on your mind because you are seen as the weaker sex. To play on your mind and to get you all in your emotions, all in your feelings, all in, this energy that is not productive for you to create the reality that you envision. And instead, what happens is, like I said, because I've been there, our minds, because we have not learned, some of us have not learned how to how to master our emotions, what happens is our emotions begin to master us. And as you know, whatever masters you controls you. And so rather than being in control of our own vessels, we've been on autopilot. Many of us have been on autopilot. And it's time to allow the divine, that divine consciousness, that divine spark within. We talk about being goddesses and all of these things, and these things are quite true. But what that means is that as a creator, you have to be in control of your own narrative. You have to be in control of this thing. And not allowing these external influences to pull you back and forth. You know, there's a scripture in the book of James that says, a double-minded man is unstable in all that he does. And let me tell you, I have been there more than once, many times, many times. I have been unstable, emotionally unstable, because I, like many of you, was unaware of the I am that I am until I became aware. I didn't know what I didn't know. And so as I make this video, I'm literally just giving you all what it is that I am receiving, because I know that with everything that is happening, many people are rightfully so feeling some kind of way. But if I may encourage you to not go off half-cocked, as they say. When you go in with your full cock. Go in full cocked in all of your awareness and all of your greatness, intentionally, fully aware and cognizant of the being that you are. One of the ways to make sure that you are truly in tune with yourself is to feed your brain. Feed your brain. Feed your brain. And what I mean by that is of giving yourself things that are going to increase neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is literally the ability to change course within your brain. So, and I've made videos about this before, but so imagine just like walking down the street, right? Like imagine like you're walking down the street in your own brain, right? In your own consciousness. You're walking down the street, you're taking a straight path. And then all of a sudden you decide that you want to go another path. But you've walked this one path so long that it's become worn, right? It's become your program. It becomes that thing that you automatically respond to. And you may not even know why you began down that course or why you continue to take the same route, other than it's the path that is well walked, right? Neuroplasticity is literally the flexibility of mind. It allows you to take a new path, to change the course, to plot, to chart a new territory, if you may, in your own consciousness. And sometimes this can be scary because it is the unknown, because it is a path that has not been walked before with any sort of frequency or regularity. And that's good. That's good. Because, they say doing the same things over and over, expecting different results, is the definition of insanity. So it may be time to change course. It may be time to change course. But part of that is making sure that we are clear on what it is that we're doing and why. Know your why. Know your why. Why are you doing what you're doing? Is it based on, trauma bonding? And I know these are just buzzwords that are thrown around, but quite literally bonding with someone else over a shared traumatic experience and then acting out of that, as opposed to being in the present awareness of everything, right? And then making decisions from that present awareness and not from an emotion, not from the past tense, right? And the energy just simply wants to move. And so what can happen is when the energy doesn't move, it becomes stagnant in the body, making the past literally tense in your body, causing tension in your muscles, in your nerves, and it literally gets on your nerves, right? It's things that may have happened that, again, like I said, because now you're becoming aware of it, now you are reacting to something that has already happened. I trust that makes sense. And so it's important to be in the present moment in order to be able to create in this moment, knowing that you are creating with intention and not based off of something that has already happened, but you are creating with the intention to produce the outcome that you are envisioning with intention. So some of the things that help to feed the brain are things like spirulina, right? These are like blue-green algae that helps to make sure that we have the minerals that we need to get to our brain, right? To get to the nerves, to feed the cells, to give them what they need, quite literally, in order to thrive. Mushrooms, different mushrooms help with the brain. I look at mushrooms as, they're one of the lower kingdoms of the ecosystem that we don't really pay attention to, but they are the fungus that is the beginning of everything. There are little entities that feed off of this fungus that allow for life to actually happen. Like if y'all have ever seen a mushroom, it just seems to just pop up out of nowhere, right? But these little things, other than Smurfs living under them first and foremost, but outside of that, they're actually very, very good for you. They help to, many of the mushrooms, I really look at them as a foundational, because they grow on the ground, on the earth, like they grow on the ground. Some of them grow on trees, like reishi mushrooms and turkey tail, if I'm not mistaken. I know turkey tail does, but I think reishi mushrooms also, is that right? Let me just say this. I know turkey tail mushrooms grow on the bark of the trees. But the other mushrooms, as you know, they grow on the ground. They are a foundational fungi. And so they help with the neurological cells in your brain to make sure that you are receiving the information that you need to receive from that particular kingdom, right? To make up your kingdom, your queendom, your government. So these are some of the things that you can do. Make sure that you are drinking lots and lots of water. Right now I'm doing, I'm making a tea for seasonal affective disorder. Because I yesterday I was having some, I was just having some thoughts, right? It was just kind of, and I found myself beginning to spiral out. Or spiral down, I should say, into emotions like, sadness, depression, things like that. And I'm like, wait. I know what to do in this situation. You know what I mean? because as you all know, I make herbs and, you know, tinctures and things like that, and do herbal medicine. So I'm working on a tea that's going to have multiple functions, but one of the ingredients in the tea is St. John's wort. So if you are finding yourself in any sort of sadness, depression, anxiety, anything like that, St. John's wort is very good for that. Now, here's what I'm going to say about that. One of the things that they say about St. John's wort is that if you are currently taking like an SSRI, which is a serotonin, serotonin something inhibitor, right? I can't remember all the words for it, but basically, if you are dealing with any sort of mental illness or mental health issue, if you've been diagnosed with something like that and you have been prescribed a particular medication, it can affect the medication and affect the way that the medication works on your body. Now, here's in my view, what I'm receiving is the reason for that is because they act the same way. One of them is organic, the other is not, but they react on your body the same way, thus the interaction, right? Thus the contraindicator, right? Because they have the same effect. It's just one of them you can get in nature, the other you got to get from a pharmacist. You know, you take your pick. For me, I use, I choose to use herbs and things like that. So I'm saying to you, if you are, using any sort of psychotropic medications for, for mental health issues or anything, I have to say, check with your doctor. But I would also ask your doctor about things like St. John's wort. Ask your doctor about these things and see what they say. Because some doctors are into, they know that you can prescribe people, different diets and things like that can help them. Some just refuse to do that. And you can, money is always a motive. And I'm just gonna come out and say it. Money is always a motive. There's no money in telling somebody they can go outside and boil bark of a tree. There's no money in that. So you decide what you want to do, but I'm just here to let you know that there are things that you can do, if you're experiencing these things. But I say all of this to say, take control of your mind. Take control of your mind and create the reality. Create your own reality that you want to see, and not allow yourself to be pulled into a reality that you are not trying to be a part of, if that makes sense. And I understand that there's a shared and collective reality that we share as beings. But like I said, it's all about the narrative. Right? What do they say? The history is always being told. History is told from the perspective of the victor. You be that this time. You be the victor this time. You be the victor this time. Let us be the victors this time. To tell the story. To be here in this now. To tell the story. You are victorious because you are here. You made it this far.